Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. And another Blackout embossing folder video. I've done this technique many times, and I do have a playlist of videos I've done just using embossing folders because there's so many ways you can use them. I'll link to that playlist in the end screen at the end of this video. I think there's over 100 videos in it. I like embossing folders. They're fun. So this time, I've shown the blackout technique in different ways. I've done like ink blending and all the things. This time I used alcohol markers to color in the debossed areas before doing the blackout technique. So just a slightly different way to do it, really. As always, everything I used will be listed and linked in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps pay the bills, keeps my heaters going, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, that's it for the housekeeping. Let's get into making the card. I'm using the new Floral Butterfly Bouquets embossing folder. This was from Simon Says Stamps Favorite Things release. I'll post a link to the release. I've already done a couple of videos using some of the products in this release. And I ran that through my Anna Griffin Empress die cut machine with Simon's 120 pound smooth white cardstock. I did lightly mist one side of the cardstock with water before I ran it through with this embossing folder just to somewhat minimize cracking. I still got a little bit of cracking, but it was fine. It was fine. And then I'm working now on the back of this embossed pattern. So all of the detail is debossed or pressed into the cardstock. And like I said in the intro, I've shown this in other ways as well. Usually it's like with ink blending. When I was looking at this folder though, I was like, this would be, unless you wanted to keep your colors like more simple and not specific to each area, like you could do some really pretty ink blending with, lighter color inks, do like an ombre, rainbow colors, whatever. But to get each of these little, like the tulips themselves, the butterflies, the greenery, their own colors with specifically ink blending, you would need to use like the tiny little blending brushes. It would work. It would just, you would need to have like kind of the right tools to do it because blending brushes are a little bit bigger. You can see there's not a lot of space in between. So I decided to use markers, and I'm specifically using, these are the Altenew alcohol markers. I've done a few videos using these since I first got them last year, at some point last year. I'll link to that playlist as well. You can check them out. Any marker will work for this, like any brand alcohol marker. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be these specifically. I just grabbed this set because I liked the colors and it would just work nice with this pattern. And that's all I'm doing is coloring. And it ain't pretty. Like, this is going to look like a hot mess. If you wanted to do this technique and use a lighter shade of ink than black, you would need, if you're going to use like alcohol markers or whatever, you would need to be a little more precise with your coloring. Because lighter color, depending on the shade of the ink you want to use, it might not cover up. This I wasn't too worried because I was like, anywhere I go outside, like the debossed areas, where it's a little messy, whatevs, it ain't gonna matter. The black ink's gonna cover it. So it's always just depending on what you're doing. You got to kind of keep some of the things in mind. But that's why I like this technique with when I'm gonna use like black ink. It's like you just don't need to be too precious about it. You can just slap that color on. This is also FYI. This was sped up quite quickly. I don't color this quickly. I don't move this quickly. I just took my time with it. It didn't take that long, but yeah, it's sped up in editing. So once I colored in all the areas, this is where the technique, and sometimes scares people, especially when I'm using black ink, but this is the fun. I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. This particular ink pad I'm using, I've had for many years. Because I use this ink a lot. I actually have multiple ink pads of this. This one I happened to grab was actually getting on the drier side, so I had to kind of work at it to get the ink on, but it's fine. The thing to remember is do not press with your ink pad. You're just holding it as flat as possible and just running it across so that all of the flat areas of the cardstock pick up the ink. Doesn't have to be this brand of ink. I have done this with many different types of ink. Work with what you got, see what works. The thing to remember though, if the ink pad itself is one of like the foam ink pads, that's where you got to be a little more careful because they're much softer ink pads. And like I said, you don't want to press, because you don't want to press that ink into all of those debossed areas. So I just went back and forth and, covered up all of that exposed white cardstock. So all you see is the pattern. And I like this. Like I was, in my head, it was like going for a spring. These are tulips and butterflies, a spring theme. I was like, oh, the black might be too much, but I like it. I want wallpaper like this. Wouldn't that be pretty? And textured too. I want textured wallpaper. The nice stuff. I say that. Am I ever going to hang wallpaper? Heck no. I haven't done that in like 30 years. Not quite. Like 25 years. It's the last time I hung any wallpaper. Not an enjoyable process. I don't like it, but I like the finished look. Anyway, I added splatter, as I showed on screen. White splatter and black splatter using gouache, my go-tos. Added splatter, that also adds to it. That also just gives a little extra, because it's a little bit messier of a technique. It's not crisp, You can aim for crispness, perfection. 1, perfection's overrated, and 2, with this technique, it's kind of difficult to get like crisp results, very clean lines. So the splatter just adds to it. It all just works in my opinion. So I'd added the splatter, and then while the splatter dried, I die cut some pink glitter paper from Simon Says Stamp, some black cardstock, and some vellum using this Fancy Thanks wafer die, which is an oldie but goodie favorite that I've used. I used it in a recent video, and I've used it in many videos. And I stacked one of the black cardstock layers with the glitter, stacked it together with craft tacky glue, and then stuck that to the outline that I die cut from vellum. And then the final layer, I adhered to the back underneath the vellum. This will pop the vellum up a little bit, makes it float just a smidge. And it also makes it way easier to adhere because adhesive shows through vellum. Vellum is finicky. So having that cardstock layer on the back makes it easier to add the adhesive at the end, which I'll show, and stick it to my finished card front. And then for my companion sentiments, I'm using the new Thank You Easy Strips, the pre-printed ones. These coordinate with the Easy Strips rectangle wafer die set. That die came out, I think, back in December. I think it was part of the December release. There's been 1 or 2 stamp sets that coordinate with this die, and then different packs of pre-printed sentiment strips. And I love it. You run it through with that die, everything's die cut. I don't have to eyeball it. I don't have to fiddle. It's done. Love. And the rest of the, I'm only going to use a couple from this. I just put the rest back in the packaging. They're already die cut. They're good to go. I can pop them out, stick them on a card. Love. And there is the reverse ones available as well. These are printed with toner ink onto Simon's white cardstock. So you technically can foil these as well. That's one thing that I don't have the greatest success with, so I don't do it very often. But with the ones that are these ones on the white cardstock, I just used one of the alcohol markers and colored in this one. And I've done ink blending, different things just to add color to customize it a bit. And it just works. So I colored this one with the marker because this is going to go on the inside of the card. I'm keeping the inside very clean and simple. And then the other little sub-sentiment I just left as the white cardstock. And then for another little embellishment, I'm using Simon's new iridescent white cord. This stuff is pretty. It is totally iridescent. The thing to remember with stuff like this, and this cord is they have a silver one as silver? Yeah, I think a silver one they came out with as well. These cords are all like the same. They have a slip to them. Anything like metallic. I've talked about like metallic threads, metallic cords on my channel in the past. They're a little more difficult to work with. It's kind of worth it in my opinion because, they're pretty. They're slippery. So even with my reverse tweezers to start the bow, it takes a little bit. But once I get the knot tied, I make my bow, pull it good and tight. Even then, it's still a bit slippery. So what I do, once I've got the bow basically the way I want it, I take my craft tacky glue and I apply it right around like the knot. This glue does dry clear and it dries matte. You cannot see it when it's all like right now. You can see it as I'm applying it. It's like this blob of white that is very not pretty. Once the glue's fully dry, you cannot see it at all. It's like it's not even there, and that will keep the bow from just, you know, coming apart or anything like that. So I also used, I didn't show it, but I used my reverse tweezers just to hold everything in place while that glue dried, and then we were good to go. So got that all dry, added my sentiment by putting the glue on the back of the cardstock die cut, and the little sub sentiment I added with just some thin foam squares that I just put along the bottom edge because I'm going to put this over that cord as well. So get that popped into place. I had adhered that other sentiment onto the inside of my card. My card base is a top folding A2 white note card, so 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. And this panel will completely cover that. So put my craft tacky glue on that, glued that down. And then as my final little bit of embellishment, I'm adding some of the new pale green confetti from Simon's latest release. And this is another, these show up a bit more because the glue is white, but the glue is going to dry clear. So then these will be less obvious, but they're pretty and they reflect green and pink. So I was like, oh, it's like it was just meant to be. You know, like everything was just working out. I like when that happens. So gotta let the glue dry on these as well, because then it will dry clear. And then they're just little iridescent bits. So I got the iridescent cord and the iridescent confetti and then the glittery sentiment to just set off this fun background. So like I mentioned in the intro, links to all of the things will be in the description box below the video, and then I'll have those 2 playlists I mentioned. Those will be linked in the end screen at the very end if you want to check those out if you're interested. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!